Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So I hope you have been farming and enjoying the new update, of course, for the Mythos Chapter 10. And if you haven't already noticed, you do have the ability to buy some new gear, both armor as well as weapons. And so in Chapter 9, of course, you can have farmed some of those weapons in the Lunar Ghost City, and I had a video about that. And in this video, we're going to be purchasing as well as upgrading all of them to a +1 because these can all be upgraded in the Napa'u Emporium. And we'll just discuss quickly some of the stat bonuses and special abilities of those weapons. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So for the second set of weapons, as well as the 3 pieces of armor, all of the materials are actually in Schnaud Castle, which is in the overworld. So, you just have to warp there. It's right above the Lunar Ghost City, and you can drop off the materials and, obviously purchase it here. And of course, the upgrade materials are all in the new Another Dungeon, which is obviously released with Chapter 10 as well. So in total, of course, after this particular drop in Chapter 10 versus Chapter 9, we will now have access to 7 Luna weapons and, of course, the 3 different pieces of Luna gear. In this case, I haven't had enough material, so we're going to go back and farm a few more times. And so remember again that these horrors do spawn every 6 hours from the time you kill them. The first one is in 2nd floor west side, and these are actually pretty easy to farm as opposed to the Lunar Ghost City where you have to walk through 4 sections of the city as well as collect sparkles. There are no sparkles here needed to be collected. You just have to kill the 2 horrors, and there are a number of different mobs which will be similar to the Another Dungeon that you're challenging after Chapter 10 Mythos. So you should be used to the weaknesses and the abilities of the fights at this point. They are weak to slash, for example, and of course you can see that I have my another AD dungeon team, which is my Melissa, of course. Skull works really well because they're weak to blunt a lot of times, and of course Shannon with Manifest, and finally our newest addition to our team, AS Clark. Now if you haven't checked out the 5-star review of her, then make sure you check it out. AS Clark is extremely powerful, as I mentioned in that video. Now that being said, let's just farm the second horror here. And again, make sure you do, if you need to farm the mobs as well, you can always use the enhanced Grasta system or the new badge that you can get through the boss rush or battle simulator in order to increase enemy encounters such that when you wander back and forth, you can encounter mobs more frequently and save time while doing so. Alright, so after that last run here, we do have enough to finally buy the last couple of pieces that we need. The Luna Sagittaria, which of course is the bow. And then let's just check out what else we're missing, which is, I believe, the Luna Malleus, which is the hammer, as Malleus would imply. Just going to double check that we're not missing any other ones. Okay. I actually, would recommend definitely coming back here to kill off the horrors regularly, even if you have crafted at least one of everything, just because after we discuss the abilities, you may find that you will need additional copies of some of the gear or armor and or weapons. And I recommend definitely getting additional pieces of the gear or armor. Okay, so let's pay the upgrade costs. Like I said, all these materials do drop in varying quantities in the Another Dungeon. Alright, so the Luna Lamia. I actually do really like the names of the swords and the gear, and not to mention they look extremely futuristic. And let's be honest, hey, style points matter when we're winning fights and carrying gear and armor, after our victory pose. Now, this axe, I will say the name catches me off guard, and I'm not going to pronounce it on this video because, I don't want to be flagged for demonetization, everyone. So, there's that. Otherwise, we'll continue upgrading here. And remember that when you do buy more gear, either armor, weapons, and so on and so forth, that does add to your inventory. So for those who haven't made it to, for example, 50 different types of bows or even 40 different types of bows or certain types of weapons, you do get gold badges and extra chronostones for collectors. So it works out really well. And let's be honest, the newer gear tends to have great abilities, especially compared to some of the older gear like, who remembers things like the Cruel Angel set, Total Dreamland, so on and so forth. Now we're going to, instead of the Luna weapons, we got the Moon Realm bracelet, ring, and necklace. All right. Let me know in the comments below if you've gotten a chance to upgrade some, if not all of them, if you have purchased them, and how far you're along in getting to what you want. And later on, after you watch the rest of the video, I want to see what you're planning to prioritize in terms of upgrading. Alright, so let's discuss the weapons. All 7 of the weapons will have the same kind of overall stats at plus 10. Notice it says Lunar Eclipse, and it'll be the same for all, like I said. When attacking, Thunder Shade Crystal Resistance minus, and so that means you have a 5% chance of applying all 3 of these statuses, as well as speed down for the enemy. Not only that, it gives you plus 3 speed per one level. So at plus 10, we're getting 30 speed onto yourself. You can also get a 50% chance of applying those resistances on the enemy. And so remember that some fights, some units require debuffs on the enemy in order for you to deal a lot more damage. I do think that the speed abilities also work really, really well for certain units that are speed based. For example, AS Sukiya, as well as Hina, for example. Alright, in terms of the Moon Realms, same thing. All 3 are the same. Status resist up and MP up. So at plus 10, you're talking 50% resistance to statuses, including stun, poison, pain, as well as a total of 40 MP increase. So very, very useful for some of the upcoming fights. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.